I think what makes a good podcast from my time is dudes and females with very good personalities, and I don't know how to describe it. Like people that are just comfortable talking to each other. Like you can almost like hear the chemistry when people talk on a podcast.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes someone have a good personality, is when they're easy to talk to, and they're like they don't even have to be funny if you're just comfortable with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as you're able to talk to them, they have a good personality.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's personal. Like it depends on who you are and what you like in a person that determines what's a good personality to you.
Yeah,
So
because
it's like
everyone will have different
everybody has
standards
different.
on what a good personality is.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be, like, the major ones, like honesty, you know, like, easy to talk to.
And I feel like
that.
everybody loves like funny, you
Yeah,
know.
but, like, everyone's different, right? So they're going to... Sorry, that's my dog, Brutus. He's barking away the cats.
That's
Good,
his
good
point.
boy, Brutus.
You know, he's contributing too. He had some things to say.
See,
Yeah.
to me, Brutus has a good personality because he listens and is a dog, so he kind of just wins automatically. But.
To me, he doesn't because he interrupted, and I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Definitely.
But I don't know. For me, I think this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm intimidated by funny people that like steal the attention. Like people that like are just so funny that you just can't even compete, and it kind of just takes away from like what you were gonna say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I see that.
Like I hate to be that dude that just sounds jealous all the time, but like when there's a dude that's just straight clowning or like saying some really funny shit, and like there's girls involved or like other like dudes you're trying to impress, and he's just saying all the funny shit, takes all the attention away from you. I don't like that. I don't like that, honestly. I don't think that's a good personality trait. If you can joke with someone and like involve them, I think that's great. But if you're just straight stealing the conversation like how I am right now, it's so important, but it's so not understood.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't understand like what they like too.
Yeah,
Like-
I feel like people have different personalities, and so like everyone is different to everyone, and you have to like shift like who you are to different people.
Definitely, like I so see that like with different people around, you just like have to like turn a different switch and be a different person because you just want to fit in around them.
You
And I feel like
know, there's a term for that. Well, at least I was taught there's a term for that. So, like, let's say you take someone who's super cool by themselves, right? Like, it's just you and your homie, whatever.
Yeah.
But the moment that homie is maybe with girls, doesn't even have to be the girls that he likes or they like him, just girls in general, right? They kind of become like not a jerk, but like kind of like a douchebag. You know what I mean? Like he's just kind of like, dude, like why, like relax, you know? Like no one, you're not trying to impress anybody.
yeah.
Anyway, the term for that, or at least I was taught, it's like peacock, like the bird.
Okay.
Because when they're trying to mate, they only flare their feathers when they're trying to impress a girl or something like that. So like if let's say you have a
Interesting.
friend and he's just total douche nozzle next to like your girl or whatever, you know, any
But he's just like
circumstance.
super cool with
Yeah,
you
but
guys.
he's super cool with you. You know what I mean? He's a peacock, dude. Like,
Dude.
he's still your boy, but like, come on.
You know what's super interesting to me, or like some like social interaction shit that I always analyze,
Mhm.
is when two groups come together, and when like you're a certain way to a certain group of people, and you're a different way to like say your close homies, and it's like a big party or some kind of get together where these two worlds converge, and you have to pick what personality you're gonna be. Like that shit trips me out.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it's like it's unnoticeable a lot of the times, like because a lot of people times like you don't notice what personality you put on for the different people, like so.
Yeah, the way you talk, like your steez, the way you like interact, the way you like treat other people is totally different. And like I feel like everyone like notices, like
Oh,
your
yeah.
close friends, and like I don't know, it's a definitely.
Okay, let's give him an example. When did you come to me with me to be my St. Louis friends? At Makapu'u, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice a difference way I interacted with them than I interact with you guys?
I mean, not in a bad way, but you were just like talking a little more pigeon, a little more like
yeah.
straight local.
Yeah.
I mean, which is dope. Like I had nothing to do with it, but it was noticeable, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay.
definitely like noticeable from like the outside perspective, you know.
Yeah. Because for me at least, like, after thinking about it, obviously it was the whole pigeon thing, but like I like almost took it as like the way it like, not like what I say really, but like how I interact with like these two groups of people. Because like literally this happened last week. My two pretty much two biggest worlds collided. My homies from back in IPA, and then I have my friends and shit from St. Louis, and they never really I never really brought them together because like kind of like opposite sides of the island,
Yeah.
But like now that like I'm like super comfortable and stuff, because like if I'm gonna be close with these people when I grow older, I would like them to meet each other at least once. You know what I mean? To be like, hey, that's cool. So like maybe even one day, I'm not saying they have to be homies, but like maybe even one day they could be like, instead of saying, oh, that's Imai's friend, that's my friend. You know what I mean? So be like, they don't have to be that like bridge.
Oh, and remember when we were talking about like on the way back, like you only meet someone for the first time once ever?
Yes.
That shit tripped me out. Cause like you only have one chance to make your first impression, and you only get to meet one person. Like the meeting new people is so dope because you don't really think about it once you become great friends with someone. Like if you just meet someone once or twice, you'll always remember the first interaction. But when you become really close friends with someone, you never really remember the beginning, and you only get that opportunity like once. So the more new people you meet, the more opportunity you get to really notice the beginnings and like be cognizant of it and like kind of remember where it all started and how it evolves into like a great friendship. And like when we're young, we don't think about that stuff, but as I get older, like I'm trying to like really take note of how friendships and relationships evolve from day one to where they are now.
You ever think about if you hadn't met this one person, that like your whole life would be different? But I'm not talking about like your family members, like you get introduced to. I'm talking about someone you meet like out of your own free will.
Oh,
like
all
you
the
took
time.
you took the initiative to go talk to that
Oh,
person.
yeah, like,
not
it
because you were
literally
introduced
just
or you were in the
happened.
same class, or I mean obviously in the same class, or something like that. You're
Yeah.
obviously put into a situation where you're with this person at the same place at the same time. But like, have you ever thought of like if you hadn't made
The effort.
the conscious effort to walk up to this person and be like, hey, my name's Kai. Hey, my name is Nate. How
Yeah,
different
like-
our life would be if you hadn't decided
Yeah.
to take that action.
You heard of the butterfly effect, right?
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
that shit, I always think about that, and I always think that's like some deeper meaning to that. Like there's always like I feel like I don't really want to get into this religious thing, like you have a plan for you, but every little thing, a whole new world, new parallel universe opens up
Yeah.
with opportunities. And like you're saying, like talking to one person can drastically change the like outcome of your life and every event that follows. And just thinking about that a little bit more trips me out.
Just thinking of like the cause and effect chains
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
can just start from like just so early on.
Exactly. You
Like,
never
as far
know.
as you can remember, but little did you know that like another thing caused that you weren't even aware of, which just ripples back and back and back, and like
Like, why are we us three right here talking to this microphone? Like, the events that brought us here together, like, we could have never predicted when we first met each other.
Yeah.
like perfect example today. I had no plans to see either of these two because I was helping my mom at work. But because she wanted to go see a friend and my brother was off doing his thing, I called up Kai just out of the blue. I'm like, what are you doing? Turns out he was free. And once I got there to his house, turns out Nate was already on his way. Like, no intentions of any of this, but now look at us. We have a nice little setup on the rooftop of Waianae. And
Shout
Like-
out 96792.
just like Nate said, we're sitting here, us three, talking to a mic, talking to you. Even if this is like our only podcast or first of millions, what if we inspired one person? Maybe not a bunch, maybe there's a bunch of viewers, but only one person took it upon themselves to do something better for themselves that day. All because we decided to do something, from me deciding to call Kai, or me even agreeing to help my mom with work. Or,
Yeah,
you
so
know what I
like,
mean?
you just keep on going
you
back
just keep
and
going back.
Like, that's like that ripple effect. That's crazy.
Butterflies. Yeah, man. I just... You know what also trips me out, though? Is that, like... Talking about personalities and being, like, a different person to different people... I feel like as we get older, we rely so much on, like, substances, like caffeine or alcohol or, like, anything that we can get our hands on just to be a different person. Because we tweak out on that, you know? We tweak out on being someone better than we are, and we rely on things to change our own our physiology. Like, we feel tired, we fill our brain with caffeine to, like, get us through the day, and that changes who we are. And I don't think we talk about that enough. I don't think we as adults talk about that enough.
But what if, like, who you are is just someone who does that with caffeine? Why do they have to be two separate people?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, we as people, like, when we're young, our thoughts are our thoughts. But as we know, as being in college and everything, a lot of things that we normally wouldn't say or do but have happened because of alcohol or because of something in our body is caused by it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, you probably, like, there's times where I would talk to a girl where I would never do it when I was sober. And I just think it's something very interesting about becoming an adult, is that we have that option now to change who we are.
Okay, but what, Imai, what are you, like, are you saying that, like, there are no different, it's just, like, another side of you, or is it, like...
No, I'm just saying, like, that's who you are. You're just someone who enjoys THC, alcohol, whatever it may be, whatever it's caffeine,
Nicotine.
like, yeah, nicotine. Like, that's who you are. You're just someone who enjoys that, regardless if it's good or bad for your life. That's besides the point. What I'm trying to explain.
Right, but can you, like, agree that, like, it changes you a little bit, like, your personality? Like, doesn't, like, it not like a different person maybe, but
okay,
like...
I guess what I'm saying is that it doesn't change. It's something that's always been there, and it's just something you're more comfortable sharing or interacting with because of that substance.
Right.
Well, I guess it's more socially acceptable now that you're an adult, and it's more readily available, I guess. Because, like I'm saying, as we're transitioning to an adult, it's something I kind of took notice of. Because when you're a kid, you don't really consider alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, whatever substances as an important part of going to a party or going out. But now it's so important.
I feel like that's because when you're younger, you just see the world as just pure and innocent.
And
you know what I mean?
To my point, now we see the world differently.
Oh, absolutely.
With the substances. And I'm saying that's an interesting thing to kind of think about as we transition to becoming adults. By the way, we're like freshmen in college. So that's where we are in this life.
On transition to being sophomores? Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're about to be sophomores. So 18, 19, we're kind of transitioning from being a kid to an adult, and that's kind of our perspective.
So we definitely have some knowledge and wisdom, but we sure as hell do not have anywhere close to knowing anything, really.
Yeah,
like,
I think we're at the point where we notice things and we can talk about things, but we don't know things. We don't have that experience to know things. We just notice things.
Yeah.
We say things, but we don't really know things.
Exactly. We're not experts in anything.
Shout out Joey Santella for giving me that quote.
But I was telling Kai earlier, this is kind of like a deeper, more woke concept, but we live in a capitalistic society, right? Yeah. Where everything is driven by success and making money and providing for a family and being the best you can be. And I think that as we get older, our metabolism slow down, and a lot of us just want to sleep and watch Netflix, but we counter that with stimulants. So a lot of America is addicted to caffeine, nicotine, and cocaine because they want to get that extra, or an Adderall too, to get that extra, like amphetamines, to get that extra boost, to get through the day, to be the best person they can be, and go beyond what they physically are capable of. Like Adderall, for example, will give you that extra boost to get those straight A's, and you become addicted to success, but what you leave behind is like yourself. I definitely think a strong stimulant like Adderall will change you.
So do you think, like, if our society was like like a part of socialism, do you think, I know it wouldn't like go away completely, but like, do you think it would have a majority to go down and like reduce that number of stimulants like coffee and stuff? Because a lot of this times is like waking up early, but why would you really need to if you had like the money or like the resources and the food and all that stuff? Like, would you think that stuff would be limited or like obsolete even?
Yeah, if you take money out of the equation, do you think people would be so addicted to success?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
So do you think those things would be like gone or not, like,
I mean,
limited?
It'll like the feeling of competition will definitely be there, but like not to the magnitude of when money's involved.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an innate feeling of competition in every human to be the best person they can be, but I don't think they would go above and beyond to put foreign substances that they know are harmful to their body into them to get a better advantage. I just don't think that factor would be there if money wasn't involved, and that's why I'm saying capitalism is a big part of our lives. Definitely. And we don't really think
about that too much.
We haven't thought about it too much
Yeah.
to this point. And that if we lived in like Finland or whatever, they have socialisms where a lot of food and money and shelter and shit is given to them by the government, how different our lives would be.
Let me stop you right there. Would you change where you were born?
Hell no.
Wait. If you had the choice, based on the information you just gave,
to live in
if
a socialistic
if you
society.
could just take yourself, family and everything, you know, everyone's still there, just place it in a different setting. Would you change it? Would you start over in a different place?
You asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Hell no. I'm a business major. I believe in capitalism to the fullest. I think if you have the drive. So my mom is an entrepreneur. My dad is an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. I think if you have an idea, you have initiative. And I think the beauty of capitalism is that incentive.
Bringing those ideas.
Yeah, the incentive of money. Like in a socialism, you can literally design a rocket ship and get paid the same amount as someone that cleans a dumpster.
So then going back to that whole drive for success and stuff, what's your opinion on that then? Because you're just kind of stating what it does to like us. But like, do you like agree with it? Do you think it's needed?
A drive? I think
that drive for success because of money, which
I think
led into capitalism, which is what you fully believe in. So
I think it's toxic that as a society everyone thinks that money is the answer. I definitely think though that America is leading in technology and medicine and all these things because we have that money incentive. And everyone is literally killing themselves with stimulants and no sleep at all just to become the best they can be, to invent these crazy things that benefit everyone.
What you just explained is capitalism, right?
Yeah.
So you fully believe in capitalism, you fully believe in what you just talked about with stimulants and driving for success.
Yeah, I believe that it's I don't think it's the ideal lifestyle, but I think it's better than not having a money incentive.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I was trying to get at.
Okay, yeah, so
that makes sense.
I mean, living in Hawaii, I couldn't complain. Like, this is paradise. And I get the chance to become a millionaire if I work really, really hard and get really lucky. And I love that opportunity. And I will continue to drink caffeine. I will continue to get no sleep and work really hard because I have faith that I can become a millionaire.
So do you say that like the people with like socialism, do you think that they don't have enough drive because they're not fueled by money?
I think they're fueled by different things.
Yeah, so like do you think that they will come up with that technology just not as fast, or is it just like, because I feel like they will still do it, they will still like make great things because they grew up, they don't have the idea of capitalism, so that drive's still there, they still want to be like, you know, top shit, you know?
Yeah, I think their fuel is different. They want to impress people, they want to impress their family, their life like fuel is science and innovation, not money. And I think that's a beautiful thing, but not for me personally. I think money is my motivator at this point.
And that definitely comes from like being in a capitalistic society.
Yeah, and I'm
like,
definitely biased because I never experienced the socialism.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, as a business major, that's how I view society and what I prefer. Yeah, so like what about the people that aren't really remunerated to the point where they get paid obscene amount of money, like the CEOs and stuff, that literally get put on the front lines of combat, or they go deep underwater and do these crazy jobs, like, or like they fight in the MMA. Like, why do you think people do those things?
Their drive is money.
No,
yeah,
but
like, what if like some people like who do dangerous jobs, you know, like don't make as much, like,
I mean, obviously they get paid above like a normal thing, but why would you become a Navy SEAL and literally go through hell to go kill other people when you could make just as much money crunching numbers?
Like that's another
No,
drive
yeah.
thing. Like some people like want to serve, you know, and Navy SEALs like isn't just about like killing people and stuff. Like it's like a lifestyle
Protecting your
almost.
country too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Like
patriotism
standing up for
involved.
something that's
Yeah.
bigger than yourself,
Mhm.
or not. The opposite.
Fighting for people who can't fight for themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's like some kind of like quality they're born with, like some kind of warrior, like maybe
It's definitely
it's
the
passed
environment
down
based
from
on
Like that
'cause
feeling
genetics.
of just wanting to go out and do that.
Yeah, or like just having some kind of like crazy warrior mentality that I'm gonna go in a ring and literally fight to the death against another person who wants to kill me. Like,
it's definitely the environment, you know, because like
That's true.
either like parents are involved or like the people that surround them. Like
That's
you're not
so
gonna
true.
have like computer geeks and then their son is gonna like want to do MMA unless the stuff around them persuades them to follow that path.
like not to be, like I don't see too many computer scientists coming out of Hawaii, but I definitely see a lot of fighters.
You think that says something about the community they grew up in?
Yeah, definitely. It's all about environment, you know. Like that's the way that people get
I think it's
shaped.
culture too.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so then, is it okay to stereotype certain places based off of statistics, like those?
I think that's a very slippery slope, because like I said, I don't know. There could be some kind of crazy tech billionaire coming out of Hawaii. I just don't know. And I wouldn't want to say it.
Yeah,
that-
I'm not saying it's impossible for anything else to happen. I'm just saying, is it okay, or like in any capacity, would it be right to stereotype a place based off of those statistics?
Because you're always gonna have your like first impressions of like a place. Like
Yeah.
you're always gonna think like
I
of a place.
I think it's a good thing to stereotype if it's a positive thing. Like saying Waianae produces some good ass fighters is a good thing to say, and people that live here would want to hear that. But if it was something like shitty, or like
what you're saying, like
not
I haven't
negative,
seen like computer
science.
like
I think
computer-
that's I want it. Like I would take that back. That's kind of,
because you never know, you know.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of blatant stereotyping, and not a good. That's demotivating to kids who have aspirations to create tech stuff. I don't want to put that out there that it's not possible.
Okay, but what about let's say you're like a recruiter, right? Your job is to find another computer scientist,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to find him when he's in high school. So you're going to different hometowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at the spreadsheet, and it shows that more computer science majors came out of, I don't know, Tampa, Florida, than Waianae.
See, that's
So
just
if you had to travel to either side, because having not been to either of these places, using stereotype, you would go to Tampa, Florida, would you not?
I feel like that's not stereotyping. That's business, though.
That's
like
statistics.
that's statistics. You know, that's following logic.
I guess every kind of stereotype kind of
Yeah,
follows some
that's
kind
also.
of statistic.
But yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
Again, it's a slippery slope. I think as football recruiters, or like recruiting in general, it's kind of a weird thing in that there's a lot of missed opportunities. Like especially for
Definitely.
me, in my circumstance, like I think playing for a school or multiple schools put together for one football team, and we weren't generally good historically. I think we had some really good players that just didn't get the opportunity because as a team we weren't that good, but we had some very like solid players individually, and I just don't think we had the same opportunities as say the bigger Hawaii schools that get all these recruits. And that's not knocking those schools, because they obviously produce some insane talents. Shout out like Tua and Marcus Mariota and them.
There we go.
What if you take a really good team that's maybe won a championship a couple years in a row, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a lot of insane talent, like Nate was explaining.
Right.
You know, there's the ballers, whatever, the Tuas, Marcus Mariotas. But let's say there's a kid that doesn't start, right? Or actually not even just a kid. There's a handful of kids that don't start and don't get the shine of the star players just because they're better than them. Now, I'm not saying that they're trash. They're actually really good.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say you take them and put them on a not lesser team, but just one that doesn't get as much spotlight,
Right?
Spotlight in terms of talent, and they get to shine, and then they become the all-stars of that team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how it's just the opposite of saying like guys who are on a not better off team don't get the shine, but let's say there's kids that are really good that deserve shines.
Yeah.
But then that's also about like people like recruit for the best. Like sure, like there'll be stars on another team, but they won't be in comparison to like the stars of like the entirety. So that's why they like pull those guys.
So okay, in your opinion, what would you rather be? Would you rather be the talented guy on a bad team that doesn't get any shine at all, so you don't get the opportunity, or would you rather be someone who's really good on a really good team but doesn't get any shine at all because no one looks at you and still don't get the opportunity? Which situation would you rather be in?
So
either way, you don't get.
Do you
either
start
way.
on the?
Huh?
Do you start?
No,
on the
either
really
way,
good
you
team?
don't get the opportunity because of where you are. Which would you rather
Okay,
choose?
no, I'm saying, do you start on the really, really good team, like as?
Yeah,
high school?
like you're like the best player. Oh no, on the really, really good team, no, you're like third, second string.
Yes, but on the lesser team,
You're like the star.
you're the
You're
star.
like the
Or the
star,
captain.
yeah.
Then I definitely
either way,
I just
you're
want to
losing.
play.
You
know?
don't get the opportunity, so you just rather
Yeah,
play,
I
right?
just rather play.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess best of the best. You have to like practice and play with the best of the best to be recruited, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I had that same opportunity, or not same opportunity, but I didn't have that competition. So there's no way of saying, or players on my team especially. And there was some guys on my team that got recruited to D1 schools because they went out to camps and everything. So good for them. I didn't have that same drive. Speaking of drive and personal motivation, I have a cat. His name is Cuppycake, and we have reason to believe he's gay.
Why? Why
Okay,
do you have
first-
reason to believe
Okay,
that
so
this cat is gay?
first of all, his name is Cuppycake, so that's red flag number one.
But who
Not a red
named
flag.
him?
There's nothing wrong with being gay. My older sister named him, and so reason one, his meow is very sus, very high pitched for a male cat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, scientific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number two, we caught him snuggling with another male cat. We were supportive, but we had questions. And number three is that he gravitates towards me and my dad more than my sisters, and I think he rubs his leg a little aggressively on my leg, and I think he has a crush on me. And there's nothing wrong with it. We support it. I just want Cups. We call him Cups. That's his nickname. I just want him to come out of the closet
So
and
you're
be
not
proud of it.
So you're not only saying that.
And I
Animals
genuinely think he is a
can't-
gay cat.
So you're not only saying that animals can be gay, but they can also be like crossbreeds because he likes you, I guess.
No, I was just joking. No, but I genuinely think that he's a gay cat, and I think that's pretty
So
good.
animals can be gay.
Yeah.
You were saying something about like the
Oh
penguins,
yeah,
right?
Do you hear about those penguins at the veterinarian?
What penguins?
Or not the veterinarian. There was these two
The zoo.
penguins at the zoo that got all this media coverage because they were supposedly gay, and it became this big political like storm. I know we don't talk about politics that much here,
Yeah.
but
First podcast.
basically, or I don't know that much about politics, but basically, the people on the left said, "Look, evidence that anyone can be gay. There's no.
It's natural.
It's not. It's natural."
It's in the
and then people
wild.
on the right were like, "I bet those zookeepers pushed them to be together and promulgated their gay agenda on these penguins." And everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So I genuinely think animals can be gay, and humans definitely can be gay from birth because of my cat and other reasons.
And we were talking about masculinity and how
Oh yeah.
like in relationships, whether it be straight, gay, whatever, like it has like
Who wears the pants in the
yeah,
relationship?
there seems like typically, there seems to be like a more masculine figure in that relationship.
And add to that, now I just thought of what I said of who wears the pants in the relationship, that's already implying that the pants go on a male.
Right.
Usually. So even that right there is just...
There's definitely a gender role.
Definitely. And we're not saying that, like, women can't be the more, like,
no, there's
authoritative
definitely,
figure.
there's definitely some boss-ass bitches out there and some very, like, cuck dudes and vice versa, which, I don't know. I think there's always a balance, and I don't get it.
Yeah, like, typically, you know, like, there's always, like...
Even in gay relationships, there's a top and a bottom. You know what I mean? There's, like, the masculine dude.
And why
the
do you think
fruity
that
dude.
is? Like, is that just based on because, like the standard, or not the standard, but, like, you know, like, the male and female, the male would play the role. That was, like, that's how it was based on.
what we grew up in.
Yeah, that's how, like, it was, like, that's how it started out.
That's
like,
what we were shown and given examples of.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we were not exactly told to be when we get older, but definitely what the norm is.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, a social thing.
Yeah.
So that's probably why that either, like, straight or gay, that they'll find that balance within their relationship. This is probably off topic, but, like, do you ever have, like, those really, like, fucked up thoughts, like, that go through your mind?
Yes.
That, like, you never would say, and just, like...
Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah, like, why am I thinking
Yeah,
that? Like,
and
why
then
did
you're
it
just
come...
like,
like, am I, like, crazy, or am I, like, psycho?
am I actually this person?
Yeah.
And you're like, good, no.
Like, something really dark, but, like, it just comes into your head, but, like, you'll never do it or say it. Like,
Or, like, thinking of the action of doing it, or just the action, just the words?
Like, just the words, probably. I would never do something
for
like
me,
that.
it's more like simple, like, funny things. Let's say I'm buying a fucking Snickers or a Musubi at 7-Eleven, right? And I just think to myself, like, just out of humor, yo, what if I just, like, punch this cashier in the face?
Yeah.
But
Like,
then
stuff
obviously
like
I
that.
don't act upon it or, like, let it go past that.
I feel like every person, or at least a majority of people, are the hero in their own life story.
Oh, yeah, when they think it up in their mind.
You're the hero of your own story.
You're the hero in your own life story.
Yeah.
You're always the coolest guy in the group.
You're the protagonist.
Well, you have to be a happy life.
Yeah, you always have to think of yourself as
essentially.
great.
Because if you're looking at yourself from, like, a different point of view, like...
Anyone can think anything about you, but...
Get the fuck out of here.
When you think of yourself, you usually typically
You
think of
kind of
yourself.
have to.
Yeah. Like if I was the person, like, oh, I'd probably get shot. Like, I'd be that like, that's not...
You
like,
become that person. You
yeah,
become like, oh,
like, you wouldn't act upon it when the time comes, or if it ever comes.
Yeah, you become a little bitch when you, like, constantly think you are not capable of things. And I think to be happy and healthy and productive, you just have to be the hero of every situation in your mind. You don't have to act upon it. Speaking of heroes in our stories, what do we think about religion?
Can we agree that a figure of resemblance to this thing we're talking about, it doesn't have to be a person.
Yeah.
It can be a thing, right?
Or like a feeling.
Or like or an idea.
An idea.
Okay. So can we agree upon that religion is something that you are
passionate,
looking towards, or passionate about? Yeah. For this idea.
See, okay,
wait, yes or no? I'm not done.
Yeah, that's definitely what religion is. But
so going back to what Nate was saying earlier with the whole drive for money thing, and how you were saying that, like, your motivation is money. Would you say that you have some type of religion towards money?
I was literally just about to say that.
I think I want to romanticize. That was a really, really good prompt there. It makes me think deeply. But I think my religion is not money. I mean, I say it's money, but really money is what I need to support a family which I wish to have, and my own family, and that's my religion.
Yeah, see,
money, like money genuinely, I know a lot of people disagree with this shit. Shout out Zach. That money does not buy money doesn't buy happiness. That's bullshit. You need money to buy food, to support your family, to have the resources necessary to be happy, and
in
not
a capitalistic society.
No.
I can name 10 things in my life that money could fix that
Medicine.
would make me happy.
You can't be happy if you're not fucking healthy, and you need a lot of money
but
to be healthy.
again, back to
Shout
the-
out anti-vax moms.
But
Fuck
like
'em.
imagine like in a social society where money,
that.
like you could still be happy, you know, like because money's not a thought in your head. Like you could still live your life, work a job.
But that's our lives, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I
money
was
is
saying.
such an important.
That's what I'm
factor
saying.
in-
Like
in
happiness
survival.
is money in a capitalistic society. That's what I was saying.
So
Like-
money is the religion of capitalism, and
Okay,
Okay,
I like that. Sorry.
that was good.
and I don't necessarily. I think money is over glorified. Like it's some mystical thing. It's literally a piece of paper or a number on a screen. It's your hard work, or sometimes your luck
Put into value, basically.
put into some made up fictional currency that you can spend upon and give other people that worked hard to provide you something. It's all made up.
Mm-hmm.
Money is made up, but it's a religion of hard work gets you things to be happy.
Okay. Yes.
And that's my religion.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
My religion is working hard to support people to make them happy.
So I guess your overall end religion
End
is
goal,
happiness.
end game.
And that's I feel like that's
No, it's hard work to provide happiness. That's my end game.
and I feel like that's a lot of people's like religion. Like if you just dig deep down, it's like happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like a big
Contentment.
thing for everybody. And then a lot of the times like
Okay. Before we go on, just if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask you for the podcast of what faith you are.
I am a Catholic.
I identified as Catholic as well.
I am too a Catholic. Okay. Sorry.
Look at these three different
I
perspectives.
just yes. See, we like
By the way,
similar.
By the way,
But
half my
different.
family is Mormon, and the other half is Buddhist. So I do have other perspectives,
Yeah.
and I'm a very, very, I wouldn't say, Orthodox Catholic.
I feel that. But what I was saying was a lot of the times people are scared of like death, and so they rely on religion to provide that answer. And because if like happiness, that doesn't give you the answer to death, right? So
Unless you know that you will be happy after death, and that is the answer.
Well, I think
But
happiness
that's
is
another
knowing happiness is leaving some kind of legacy or some kind of impact on other people. Because
Mhm.
isn't that
Okay.
a big thing in Catholicism? Is that you have to impact other people and make them happy and make the world a better place to
But-
end up in heaven.
okay.
but you're
but-
still talking about like real world. What I'm
Yeah.
talking about is like after death, like your personal body.
No, I'm
after
saying-
death.
no,
and
okay, yeah.
and like religion, like at least
it's
Catholicism provides that.
It's a
Image.
meaning of life. But I'm saying, to go off of that, I'm saying why we become happy, like this innate feeling of this whatever dopamine rush, serotonin, whatever you want to look at it.
But isn't happiness different for everybody though?
Well, it comes down to the neurology, but I'm saying the happiness comes from knowing you're doing the right thing to end up in heaven or end up in the
Okay, so
in
you're
some
talking
place
about just
afterlife.
Catholics in general. Okay.
Yeah, see, but like
Okay,
what
yeah,
I'm
'cause
talking
just
about is
saying,
like
the average person might not want that.
Yeah, like
their
imagine-
Oh yeah,
their
different
happiness
religions.
is maybe building Legos or playing video games their whole
yeah,
life.
like
And
imagine
they're
like
happy.
a person who doesn't believe in any religion and just like not any but like drives to just be happy, but they won't have like that answer for the after death effect.
And then what did you take into account? People. Now, God forbid, anyone or any of this happens. But what if someone truly feels happy, inflicting pain or suffering on others? Are we to invalidate his happiness, his or her happiness?
Well, that just comes to society and how we follow like laws, and so sure, like they'll be happy, but like you have like the government and like society, other like if they like kill, but then other people won't be happy, you know.
Well,
So that's the like
there has
effect.
to be a villain. There has to be a villain for there to be a hero.
No, I'm just saying.
and a hero ends up in heaven, right?
Yeah, but just saying from this
In
man's
theory.
perspective, like,
Okay.
are we allowed to validate or invalidate his happiness, even though it's him inflicting pain on others? Does that make sense?
You know, I see what
if
you're saying.
he's truly happy, is he not? I'm just making like a broad,
Well,
like he's happy.
But he's taking away other people's happiness.
That doesn't mean he's not happy though.
Yeah, see, like that's the thing.
That's toxicity, and I think that's.
But that's
Like, no,
what I'm
yeah,
saying,
I
like,
understand.
He's still
Like
happy,
he's
though.
happy, but like
I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm just talking about him.
So I wouldn't validate that, like his happiness, because we have that perspective of other people's emotions. But like if you were just to like grind it down to like purely his happiness, I still wouldn't like.
I think for me, it's really hard to talk about it because I
it's-
never had that feeling of evoking pain and getting happy.
We're very unbiased to that.
I mean, obviously, I played football, so I like to like hit people really hard and fuck them up. But at the end of the day, I don't want them to die.
So like, what do you think? Like, would you validate that happiness?
For me, see now the saying like, if you're happy doing something, do it. Like that's obviously that doesn't apply here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if you're happy doing something, period. That's it. Like he's in his mind and through like his like way of thinking, he's happy.
Right.
Now, obviously, like that doesn't make anybody else happy,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not of his concern.
Right.
He's happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You take someone who likes kicking a soccer ball at the wall all day, he's happy. Someone who likes eating ice cream cones every Tuesday, he's happy. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the people around them. It's what they're doing to make them feel in their head happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never wanted to mutilate, hurt, or like do anything to another being, unless I was like pissed off because we were like in an argument or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I've never like truly wanted to hurt somebody. So I'm with you guys on that side. I'm just trying to explain that like to each and every one of us, their happiness is their happiness, regardless of what's going on around them.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly, I don't feel comfortable commenting on that because I just don't have any experience.
Because like
I just don't know what the mindset is to have any.
And that's
sort
just
of
based
opinion.
around like having society and like knowing that like killing and all that stuff is like bad in our minds.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
No, I'm just saying that it's based around society. And
I don't even think it's like society influencing it, or even religion saying that thou shalt not kill is like, I think we're born with that. I think there's some kind of like something in our mind, like there has to be something seriously sick about someone.
Well,
to
like
make
in prior days in like history, like it was kill to survive.
Yeah, like they're
Kill
sick
or
and
be
deranged, like they're psychopaths.
Well, yeah.
So I guess
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
answer.
Yeah,
But-
I'm not defending them.
I know you're not, but I'm saying like that's my only comprehension of your question.
Yeah,
is saying
'cause it's definitely something-
It's just putting a label on them and saying they're psychopaths or they have something mentally wrong with them, because that's the only way.
Yeah,
I
I
can
think, and
comprehend
I
it.
think
But they're
that's
happy.
But they're happy.
Yeah, then that's it.
Yeah.
There's
'Cause,
no.
there's nothing else that we
Yeah,
can.
like, but they're happy, and then that's the only thing that they get for doing what they're doing. They get to be happy, but like we all get to be happy because they're put away or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
in their head, if their end game was to get locked up, they're happy.
That's another thing. But I was kind of thinking about is, do you guys care about legacy? Like, because
What you
obviously
leave
when
behind.
you're gone. But
There'll always
do
be
you
something like
do you
that.
care about your legacy?
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I want my kids to remember me, and I want my family to remember me. But, like, do you want the world to remember you? Do you want to go down in history, or do you just want to be the best person you can be to a few people?
Because I feel
I
like
wanna be the best person.
yeah, because I feel like I didn't care about like each and every person in the entire world, so I personally wouldn't care what they think
Yeah,
of
they
me.
didn't care about you.
Yeah, so I feel like if to the ones who care about me, I would want to leave a good legacy, leave like that image of how I was positively to those people, and that's something that would matter to me.
I think people that are driven by leaving a legacy, like some insane history legacy, is fucking insane. Like, people who think they're gonna be, I'm not saying they're not, I'm just saying people that think they're gonna be the next Michael Jordan, think they're gonna be the next insane inventor or politician that's gonna change the world, are just fucking driving themselves insane, because the possibilities of being someone that's remembered forever is just little to none, because we remember a finite amount of people in our history, and they've done insane things, and to only be driven by accomplishing something like that, I think is very, like, you can be lucky,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think people should have that drive. I think the legacy, like we've all agreed on, should just be impacting the people that know you and care about you.
And I feel like the people who like are remembered, I really don't know, but I feel like they didn't care about the like they were just doing themselves.
Yeah,
And like
Michael Jordan loved basketball.
Yeah, and
Einstein loved science.
and those are those people who will be remembered for doing themselves, not doing it for their legacy.
Exactly. And I just think it's not a good way to live if you constantly are driven by leaving behind something that's supposedly much greater than a being self, like a human life. You want to be immortalized. It's just something that's not really obtainable, or that's not plausible, and can be can handicap your existence and stress you out.
That's because, like, at the end of the day, like, you're just a concept. Like,
Yeah.
like, let's say, okay, Nate Beck, Nate Beck brings upon, like, you know, when you hear that, except for you, obviously, because it's you, but, like, it brings upon, like, a concept, like, an idea of who this Nate Beck character is, right?
Right.
And what you're saying with, like, the whole immortalized thing,
Mm-hmm.
like, obviously, you're not gonna, like, breathe forever, but, like, the concept or idea of Nate Beck will live on forever, which is what you meant by, like, immortalized. It meant, like,
Yeah.
right to assume that, like, that way.
Yeah.
Do you think there's like a difference in drive so imagine like people who want that legacy and people who want money, like they both will stress, right? And they both will like they just like want different things. Do you think those are like, because you said like definitely capitalistic and like wanting money, that's not a bad thing, but you're saying that like the leaving on the legacy was like too much stress, you know? Is that like different to you?
I mean, for me, I don't want to be the richest man in the world. I don't want to be anything of the world. I just want to be successful, and that means making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And with that money, I want to provide an amazing childhood for my kids and an amazing life for my wife. And that's my legacy, and that's what I'm driven by. But I think what I'm arguing is people that will disregard family, disregard everything around them,
Okay, I see.
to pursue something much greater than themselves and push for that just because they want to leave behind this immortalized legacy. And that's what they're driven by, and they're not driven by a love for basketball or a love for science. If that's what I'm assuming that's what made Einstein happy, was a love for science, and that's why he was immortalized, is because he did amazing things with his drive and love for science.
Mm-hmm.
And he was immortalized because he made great contributions to our understanding of the universe. But people that have the drive they're not driven by a love for something, they're driven by a love for a legacy, and I think that's a love for being immortalized after they're dead. I think that's fucking insane and not healthy.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of people like that.